Hey, blessings, you guys. The girl came in. I know, like at a weird time, but I just got off the road. I had a show tonight. Lights, camera, action. Had a show tonight, and it was really, really, really far. But I didn't really know what to title this one because I felt like if I title it, it would be like two different things. So I felt like we're not gonna give it a title, but you guys want to watch this one because I'm going to talk about real time, and I'm going to talk about what I think the title should have been. But this is it. I'm just going to say the title. Let's put it out there. I'm just going to say the title is talk. Listening and talk. Okay, I guess, and I might change that because I literally just burst through the door like, you gotta go, and I didn't do much. I just had to get in the house. Okay, so here we go. The reason why I want to talk about this topic is because one of the young ladies that I work with, we had a show tonight, so I was working with a few women. It was a good night. Everybody was just on point. Everybody did a great job, and it was fun. So, I don't know. Sometimes you get around certain people and you just don't talk or you don't say anything. You don't want people to think this about you. You don't want people to think that about you or think you weird or crazy. But when God is talking to you, and I'm finna get into this one right here, y'all. I hope I can do it in one take. When God is talking to you, and this is how you know when he is talking to you, it's because you be thinking you crazy. You be thinking you are crazy as hell. But then after a while, you be like, nah. Because I didn't have to be here at this time, at this moment. I didn't have to see this or hear this or someone said this at this moment. His timing is perfect. Even when you are down. Even when you are struggling. His timing is perfect, okay? So let me try to get real quick through this. Okay, so I'm going to start before we got together. It was just like all these things that was happening that I knew it wasn't just a coincidence. But it was making me think, girl, you crazy as hell. You've been around the knocks too long. Okay? And I am not lying, guys. It was just like I would be driving and sometimes I would be looking as I'm stopping. I'll probably look around or whatever. Real quick, I'm going to say this. So I can be looking around or whatever. I can be looking at house numbers, or I can be listening to the radio, or I can be looking at license plates or the person in front of me or whatever. Okay? But this particular day, I just kept seeing things that was just like not normal. Like I was literally, and I think I said this in the other video, but it's going to still lead to my point. I was looking at license plates for some particular reason. Because this car like sped up and really had to get in front of me. And I'm like, all right, not trying to have an accident. You go your way. But in my brain, I'm thinking like, it's enough. We got to stop that. Because I felt like you thought you were so entitled to like jump in front of my car. And I'm like, it's enough. But then when the person got in front of me, the license plate literally said some whatever numbers. But I paid attention to what the word said. And it said G-O-D. So I'm looking at it like, okay. It says God. Okay. I don't know what this means. And when God is talking to you, you literally have to go meditate. And if you are in a place or whatever you can't really meditate, you just have to get to a point where you're trying to figure out what it is. And then if you don't figure it out, he's coming again. He's going to talk to you again. No, I don't mean he's like in your ear. You can hear a voice. God talks to you in so many ways. So then I get to another point. I look down. I just see a penny on the ground. And I'm not going to get into that. But, just research if you find random coins or whatever. And what does that mean? Okay. So I'm like, okay. And then I went somewhere else, found another penny. Now, I'm at this point where I'm just praying about a certain situation. And, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to take that as a sign or whatever. Then two more cars that exact same day had license plates that said God. And even when I was driving, somebody had like a sign in their yard that said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was just like Jesus is something and whatever. And then I kept driving, and then I saw a billboard that was like Jesus, whatever it said in something, okay? Now, speeding it up. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Okay, speeding it up. So today, I knew I had to be on the road for a long time. I had to get ready for the show. But God placed the right person for us to, connect together and get to the show. And sometimes you don't know if you say something to someone, they may or may not get it. And sometimes age, race, culture, or whatever plays a part of that. But when God wants you to say something, you will say it. And you might sound crazy, but you will say it. Or vice versa, where someone will be saying something to you and they might be thinking that it's crazy, but you're not hearing it like that. You're understanding what they're saying. So skipping forward, trying to get past this. I just started talking to her. And as I was talking to her, I was actually telling her what I just said to you guys. Like, synchronicity. I didn't mention that part, but, synchronicity and seeing, license plates and signs or whatever at the right time. And I was so impressed that she understood me. She didn't look at me like I was crazy. And she was actually conversing back to me where I knew that she was in line. She really understood what I was saying, because you can't talk to everybody the same way. You just can't. It is what it is. Okay, moving forward. So as I'm talking to her, these signs are coming up. So I was talking to her and I got to the point where I was like, yeah, I saw a license plate that said God. Look over to the left. No, look over to the right. I'm sorry, because I'm facing the camera. Look over to the right, and a truck rides by, and it has like numbers, and it said on the license plate, God. And I was like, see? And she was like, yeah, I see that. And I was like talking about synchronicity or whatever. And I was just, quickly going through it, and I'm talking to her, and I was like, yeah, it can be 111, 1111, 1010, whatever, 333, whatever. So when I'm saying this to her, another car goes by and the license plate said 333. So I was like, you see that? She's like, yeah. I said, I hope you don't think I'm crazy. But my point of this story is it's like when you get to a certain point in your life where the old goes out the door and the new comes in, and now you are having this relationship with the Most High, it's going to be so many things that you don't understand. When you get out of a relationship with an evil, demon, wicked person, toxic or whatever type of relationship it was, a narcissist, whatever, excuse me, you're going into this new phase. And I'm about to drop a bomb on you guys, so I'm hoping I'm speeding it up and getting to the point. So I might be skipping over a little bit, and tomorrow will be like, dang girl, you didn't say that. But I'll say it if I watch this video and be like, you didn't say that. I'll say it the next video. Okay, so after I got to the point where she was not thinking that I was crazy, and God was actually showing her in real time everything that I was saying, I did not know I was going to have a conversation with her, because I knew I had worked the day before and I was tired. I just felt like all I'm going to do is just keep, studying my role and, do what I have to do. But God was like, nah, that ain't what I want you to do. That ain't what I want you to do. Okay, so then we got to this part of the conversation, which is why I could not title it this video. It's because when she acknowledged that what I was saying, and she was agreeing to it, and she was also seeing it in real time, I was like, when you get to this point in life, like how I'm talking to you and you are seeing it, and you are my witness, I am your witness that this is really happening. And so we both know that we're not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We're not. So I was like, when God revealed things to you that you have to go to someone else to explain to them or get them to understand, and God will he will not put nothing on you that you can't handle. That's what I'm trying to say. So it brought me to this point, like, when you have to talk to your kids, and you don't want your kids to think that you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because they're not where you are. Think about it. You're at your age now and you're just not discovering God. You're just not discovering and figuring out life. And maybe you have been the best parent that you could possibly be to your children at whatever age that you had them. But as a parent, you're never done being a parent, okay? And now that technology in the world has changed, which the devil takes control of a lot of that, which the devil tries to get into your kids' brain, mind, and spirit with all these new things like technology, social media, video games, all these easy, accessible things, right? But what God was telling me that I didn't really say to her, I kind of did, but I kind of didn't. But she understood. When it gets to the point, this is part of the 2 of how I don't have a title for this video. Excuse me. You guys already know I've been trying to shake this off. But when it gets to the point where your kids is trying to be their own self, they're trying to have their own life, they're trying to figure out who they are and what they're supposed to do, just like you did. But when it gets to the point when God is talking to you and you have to talk to your kids and not look or sound crazy because they don't understand, just like what I said earlier in this video, when God is talking to you, you are trying to explain it to someone else and not look crazy or sound crazy. But some people, and especially the chosen ones, God put us in a certain path where He's going to make sure that this person that you have to talk to is not going to think that you're crazy. So now you're at this point where you're trying not to sound crazy to your kids. So your kids might have this great ambition. They want to go to college. They want to learn this. They want to, figure out this and that. And now we are where we are. Now I want to take it back a little bit. When the lockdown went down, now it's about you, not your kids. You may have never ever expected the lockdown. So you never saw this coming and you was not prepared for it. But for those people that spiritual people that figured out what is it really is, what it is really is, and God will sometimes give you a glimpse of the future. Okay, so when it got lifted, everybody thought everything was going to be back to normal. Nothing is ever going to be back to normal. Normal don't even exist. It doesn't even exist anymore, especially with narcissists. Okay? So, now you're getting to this point. Oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. Oh, I think I'm going to have to stop this because I think this video is going too long. I'm going to try to get through it. Okay. My mother and my father, okay, so I do come from a background of everything mixed in the blood, okay? My mother's side of the family did not really too much have to go through what my father's side did, but they both did something that as a kid we just thought it was fun. And it was okay. They didn't have to explain it. They pretty much taught us this. So let's start with my mother's side. My mother's side of the family, they was heavy on fishing. My grandmother, my grandfather, they was heavy on fishing. So if they chose you to go on these fishing trips, it was fun. It was exciting. It was all these things. And then, you know, granddaddy, grandpa would, you know, clean, descale the fish or whatever, and grandma would cook it and add some other side dishes, okay? But on my father's side, which was the largest side of my family, which the side of the family I pretty much really grew up on, but I did know both part of the families, but more on my father's side. Okay, so my grandmother on my father's side had a lot of kids, and most of them had to drop out of school because they had land, and they had, I'm just going to pretty much say they were farmers, okay? And my grandmother, you know, God rest her soul, little old white woman, and she was amazing because out of all the kids she had 10 times, 11 times grandkids, but she always showed both sides. Because I look, I'm trying to get through this. She always showed us love. And my granny on my mom's side, I just like, she was my queen, and you know, it was just amazing how I was brought up with both sides of my family, that the grandmothers, the grandfathers, and whatever, the uncles, all the men, it was just so much love. So I know you guys are probably thinking like, well, how did you get with a knob? That's another story. All right, so most of them had dropped out of school or whatever to tend to the farm and to tend to whatever. We going back there, fam. We're going back there because at that time, just my opinion, at that time, I felt like they knew that whatever you were going to do, whatever you were going to learn was not going to be enough to make us survive as now. Like, real time moment. So they had to be taught, you know, the girls had to be taught this, the guys had to be taught whatever, and they had to be taught how to just take care of themselves. And so they didn't, what do I want to say? They didn't think that going to school or whatever was more important. That part, this part, got it, fire. Thank you, Most High. They didn't think that that was more important than what they was teaching them. Now I'm going to stop this video because I know it's too long, and I'm going to get into part 2 about this. Because now we're going to go to the future. The future. And now, you guys, I don't know what y'all gonna think about it. I don't know what you guys are gonna say. But for some reason, God put this on my heart and my spirit to talk about this. I wasn't even gonna come in because I'm like, oh, you know, worked all day and you're tired. It's a long drive there. It's a long drive back. But God was like, nothing. In the words of my 2-year-old daughter when she couldn't say no. God was like, nothing. You gonna do this. Because this is what you do. See y'all with 2 and 2. I swear I will be back. I won't swear in the Lord. I promise you. Let me take that back. I promise you. I will be right back. And now we're going to get to the future generation on this part 2 video. And your kids will think you're crazy when I talk about this. I got to go. Are you guys kidding me? Be blessed.